Hey everyone, New through 12 here. Welcome to the last video about Fate Zero. It has been an adventure, a long one, and my god, at least it ended in a interesting way. Poor Irie, forever cursed. But it was alright. The anime in general, I'll just talk about that. It was an alright show. 5.49 out of 10. It's pretty average, honestly. Like, if the characters were more interesting, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But like the fight scenes are coolish on some of them. Some weren't. Some were kind of just memey. Like, Kotomine getting shot in the head and a bullet bouncing off his head. Like rubber bullets, sure. That's a thing that happens now. And just random shit like that. The music was really good. I like the openings and endings. Except like the second ending. Didn't like that one. But the rest of the openings and endings I really liked. Especially the last two. Those were really, really well done. The music in general, really, like, as the OST, really fucking good. And serves as a really nice backdrop to it. Animation, for the most part, again, really fucking solid. It's just the problem with the writing. That's my issue. And if, like, I didn't care about writing and characters and shit, I'd have liked it. But, like, I'd have to, like, turn my brain off and not worry about some things. Or, like, if I didn't care about who won or stuff like that. Like, it would be better as an independent series of something I don't care about for me to care more about, in a way. The servants, for the most part, were meh. Ryder was the exception to that. Gil, I always liked Gil, so, I liked him as well. Saber just took a massive step down for me in terms of just everything. And that's about all the servants I really cared about. I didn't really care about Berserker because we didn't hear him talk. We just hear grunts. So you don't really care about what happens to him. Except when they die, because that's when they can fucking talk, apparently. Caster, he's just a fucking joke. Assassin shrugs. What do they do? Nothing. Lancer, he just cries. He's an uncool coup. So who cares? We don't even know like exactly what happens with him. We got a flashback of like a couple seconds. So we don't even know, or at least I don't even know what the fuck his story is. Something about wanting to fuck some chick? Or she wanted to fuck him because of his mole, I guess. And that's bad. I, I don't feel bad for him. Like, I don't know. Like, if you want us to care about someone, give us a reason to care. And that's my biggest issue. Like, it sets up all these, like, emotional things of, like, people dying. Like, it's a really grandiose deaths. And, like, some of these people, like, they don't just, oh, I'm dead. Like, it's just a really strong build-up. And yet, who fucking cares? Who the fuck cares if Aoi is now paralyzed instead of just dead? I don't know why she didn't just die. I guess Kotomine healed her, but he didn't like heal her all the way. I don't know. But like that shit, like who fucking cares? She was a nobody. She's like an absence of everything. Karya dying. Who fucking cares about him? What does he do? Like he's just a shitty person. Like he at first acts like he's doing it for Sakura, but in fact just admits like, oh no, I actually was just suffering because of you. Because I wanted to be with you. What the fuck? What the hell's wrong with you, dude? There's a girl literally being tortured and you only care about getting some fucking pussy? Really? Come on. That's just fucked. And like, so why would I fucking care if he died? Screw him. Fuck him. Maya, she was nobody. Just a blank slate. We don't know where she came from, what she does, blah, blah, blah. Like, what did she do? Who is she? What's her backstory? Not that I actually even fucking wanted to hear it, but why should I care that she dies other than someone saying, oh my god, I really cared about her? There's a point where you just saying something doesn't matter. I don't care if you say you cared about them. I want to see how you cared about them. Seeing, not just being told. That kind of thing. Oh, fuck. Other people dying. Caster's master. Don't care about them. Fuck them. They can die. That wasn't necessarily emotional. Tokiomi dying. Good. Deserved to happen. But, like, if there's going to be, like, these build-ups to these deaths, there has to be, like, some emotional weight to it for me to, like, care. Like, at least Ryder's death and stuff. That was interesting. That was good. It was well built up because they really built up those characters. Now, what about the rest of the people? Like, why are we just having so much emphasis on Waver and Ryder when other characters that are just as important not getting the same kind of growth and development and care? Unless the argument is, oh, he's a kid, but Ryder's an adult and he changed. Like, why can't we get that for these characters? Come on. Like, that's just my issue in general. Like, if you're gonna, like, focus on these characters in this war, I need some reason and some stakes to give a fuck why someone wins. Otherwise, they could just explode and it won't matter. They can get their head blown off in 2 seconds in the beginning, and it has the same impact as if they haven't been really developed at all, and they die in the 20th episode. I don't fucking care. And that's the problem with Zero. It is told in a way that if you care about characters and their growth, you're kind of fucked. And that's bullshit. I'm sorry. But, come on. I don't fucking care about your ideologies and your themes, or fuck off. I don't care about that shit. I care about the people inside of that world. Because that's what gives your world life. Otherwise, it's just a barren wasteland that does nothing. And that's just my general thought process on everything. Characters make a story. Like, that's just how I view the world. Because it doesn't matter how good your plot is. If you have shitty characters, it's going to be a shitty story. Because it just won't be interesting to even suffer through because your characters are terrible. The characters can be amazing, but the plot's terrible. But the characters are still amazing. You can still enjoy the characters and their interactions with each other, even if the plot sucks. That's how I view it. That's why I view characters as a higher level of writing than just a plot. Anyone can write a plot. Not everyone can write great characters. A lot of people can write good plots, great plots, because they can just take plots from other things and change them a little, and so they look unique. They even watching it just surface level are pretty unique. But it doesn't take as much skill as developing really fleshed out, dynamic, interesting characters. And that's just how I view a different tier of writing, a very higher level, more sophisticated level of writing. Being able to write realistic characters, dynamic characters, stuff like that. The one-note, bland, uninspired, non-changing characters that are just carrying water for the story, for themes, for ideology. It's just really fucking basic level shit. And if it's that your kind of story, sorry, not for me. That's your problem to deal with. These are just opinions, obviously. Like, that's just the biggest issue I have with Fate Zero as a whole. It has nothing, like, I get the arguments like, oh my god, you're comparing it to Fate Stay Night. Fuck off. No, I'm not. I'm comparing it to what I want a good story to be. That's the difference. A lot of people have issues separating prequels, sequels, and shit like that. For me, I don't see that issue. I don't think it's an issue. I'm comparing it to its own metrics, and what it could be in that instance. I see these characters, I see how they can be changed. That's what I'm comparing it to. Sure, I'll bring up plot points that are inconsistent with the mainline story and characters that repeat that are inconsistent. I'll bring that up because it's relevant. But I'm not going to bring up like progressions of characters or stuff like that and compare it to a visual novel when it's obviously longer. But at the same time, a lot of anime are shorter but have more interesting characters. So it's clearly not a runtime issue, it's a focus issue. That's the difference. There's 12 episode animes that do a lot better in character development than a 25 episode of episode 1 being an hour a series of anime that can't seem to find a balance of how to show and not tell and how to develop their characters. That what I assume to be just on the writer, because that's not what he cares about. And I think that is poor writing. In terms of story, in the Fate lore, I guess, I don't really care. I played Hollow Ataraxia. It's a bunch of random shit. It doesn't really relate to Fate at all outside of characters, honestly, and some of the main story. Fate Grand Order, same thing. I play for the characters in those things. I don't care about the story necessarily. Some of the stories I cared about because it had characters I cared about. When it focuses on characters I don't care about, fuck it. Blah, blah, blah. That's all it is. Because if I'm not interested in the characters, the story is going to just be a fucking drag 100% of the time. That has been so fucking consistent on every single thing I've done. And so it infuriates me when someone acts like it's just because I don't like a prequel or something. That just blows my fucking mind. Because it, honestly, the main thing it shows is that they just aren't educated on what I see in a story and how I judge stories. Because I've been brutally consistent on every single thing I've done and how I judge a show, how I judge a visual novel, how I judge a game. It's always characters first, story second. I will always talk about the characters above the story. So if this is your first time seeing me, you'll be like, oh, that's just because it's this one thing. No, this is wholly consistent. And so when someone like wants to argue that point, it's just you're in a losing battle because you just don't know what you're talking about in this instance. You have to know what I judge in order of importance before you can be like, oh, you're being inconsistent, or oh, you're being unfair to this thing. You might have a different value system, and that's what we can talk about. But to say like this value system's wrong or incorrect, or I can't talk about it this way, you're just not being fair at that point. But I think that'll just do it on Fate Zero. I'll just run through the characters of who I liked. Airi, obviously. Kiritsugu, I liked him at the very end. He started to be like, hey, this is the Kiritsugu I like. He cares about something. He's getting shit done. Instead of the, I'm just going to nope out of this show for like 18 episodes. See you guys later. That's just boring. I want to see him. More of him. I don't want to see more of Caster. I want to see more of the important guy. Because I went in wanting to see Kiritsugu. I didn't realize, hey, actually, hold this for 15 episodes and then you can see him. Or 18 episodes, or however fucking long it took to like really start focusing on him. That to me is just a letdown in expectations, I guess. I should have I had maybe too much of a high view of something that just doesn't exist, apparently. A story about him and his struggles to balance his views of an ultimate utilitarian approach. Apparently that just doesn't exist. Sad. Saber, terrible. Fucking boring as shit. More boring than she was last time. Goddamn. Though I still felt bad for her at the end, just because it really fucking sucks to have your goal and you have to destroy it. That's really fucked. Gil, always will love. He's fun. Even if he's like kind of out of character, being like Mimi, he's the evil behind everything. Kind of dumb. He's kind of just whatever. Go to Mine. I still don't really like him. I just find him boring. Like, even in Fate Stay Night, I didn't really like him that much. He's just meh. Meh. Next. Next scene, please. Waver, I liked him. He was fun. I like how he grew. Ryder, he's fun. Bombastic. A little bit of a dick sometimes, but pretty chill. Pretty fun. Would play video games with him. Caster, Caster's Master, delete. Aoi, delete. Ren, wholesome and cute and adorable. Would protect. Would be her dad. Karya, he is worm food like he deserves. And if I'm forgetting anyone else, they weren't important. Tokiomi, fucking stupid. Like, unbelievably fucking stupid. And that's probably about it for characters that I like put enough emphasis on me to like actually care about. Anyways, I'm just gonna call it here. A little longer than usual, obviously. It's the end of a series. And thanks for watching. If you understood and respectful of opinions, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's been an adventure. I'd probably give it a 5.49. Just reiterating, out of 10. It's alright in parts, terrible in others, great in others as well. I won't take that away. But for me, it's just average. Uninspired characters in a lot of instances. Some were good, some were just placeholders. And to me, that's just bad. If your main cast is like 7 or 6 people, and a lot of them are just placeholders, like, come on. And that was still an issue with Fate Stay Night. They could go into more detail, obviously, later on, but Caster's Master? Boring as shit. Who fucking cares? Assassin? Who cares? They don't matter to me. Like, that kind of thing. So, just to feed the... I'm okay with criticizing that one too, don't worry. Like, the actual setup of a Holy Grail War is terrible if you want to develop everyone. And, like, in a quick manner, because it's just not enough time to. I will at least agree to that. But when they're, like, actual more major characters, and they're kind of just there to spout ideals and ideologies, that's when we started getting into, like, okay, let's stop. But that'll probably be it. Thank you guys for watching. And, next series up, might as well stick with Fate. Let's go to Apocrypha. I heard that one's actually just bad. So, who the fuck knows how much I'll hate that one at the end? Who knows? God damn. I do know, though, I will like 2 characters in it, and that's all I care about. Honestly, that is why I'm watching it. I'm watching it for John and Mordred. That's it. If they die early, fucking I will want to drop it so fucking bad if they die early. They better last to the end, or I'll be fucking mad. But that's the only reason I'm watching it. It's very strong reasons. But it'll be fucking something. I don't even know how mad I'll be at that. I'd probably be infuriated by it. Because this is supposed to be great. I thought it was average. So if someone thinks it's bad, I might think it's dog shit. Whew, that's going to be brutal. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out the links below if you want to do stuff with the channel. Blah, 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 blah. And see you guys next week for the first part of Apocrypha. Jesus, help me.